Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the charts behind me, which are of EV charging companies. So I wanted to go over three of the tickers that do stand out to me as being most interesting. I will include timestamps down below so you can skip to your ticker of interest. And I should also note, since I am doing a multi-ticker video, I'm probably not going to edit this, so I do apologize for my ums and ahs, but this is just the way that I speak. And so anyways, going over the charts, I'm first going to go over BLNK charging, ticker symbol BLNK. Then I will be going over ChargePoint, ticker symbol CHPT. And then finally, I will close with EVGO, ticker symbol EVGO. But so to start, going over BLNK here, I am recording this on Monday, May 27th, so happy Memorial Day. And BLNK did close on Friday last week, which I believe was May 24th, at a price of $3.19, being up 2.25% on the day, but then pulling back about a few pennies in the after hours. And so for this chart and for all of these charts, I'm basically going to do the exact same thing, just going to do some Fibonacci retracements to kind of get an idea of where price could be going, as I do think we are seeing basically some stair stepping up, and from that we can get an idea based on Fibonacci retracements where price might be going. And so first I'm just going to do a regular Fibonacci retracement from the low here at $2.18 coming up to the high hit on May 6th, and that was at a price of $3.24, so right there. And so from that move, we can see that price pulled back to the 382, which is around $2.83. Did get some lows going a little bit lower than that, so the lowest low following that move was hit on May 8th, and that was at a price of $2.74.5. The 50% retracement was at $2.71, so almost got there, but not quite. We did retrace to the 382. And so, I do think that is important to note. And from this, this is a retracement going to the upside. Now I'm just going to do a retracement going to the downside, which will include some extensions so we can see where price may have gone to the upside. And so with this low at $2.74.5, going to try to get that lined up just right. It's a fraction of a penny off, but I do like to adjust these to the fraction of a penny, so that's what I'm doing here. And now we do have that retracement, and the 1618 extension from that retracement was at $3.54.7, with the high being hit on the 14th of $3.52. So just being, less than 3 pennies away from that extension. I do think that was a pretty cool tool to be using to get an idea of where price might be going to the upside, where to trim, and then where to wait to buy back in on the next pullback. And so I did just want to point that out. I think that's pretty neat. And now we are basically just going to do the exact same thing again, but going from the low here at 274.5, going up to the high of 352. And like I did before, I am just going to adjust this to the penny, the fraction of a penny, because I like to do that. And then I am going to delete this old one so we don't have too much clutter on the chart. And it does look like from this retracement, we did pull back to the 618, which is at a price of $3.04.1. And so the low that was hit on the 21st was at a price of $3.02. So did pierce that level, did close above it, have not seen any closes below that level. I do think that we have found a bottom there on the 21st. And with that being said, I could do another retracement from the top to the bottom to get an idea of where that 1618 extension would be, and that could be the next level to the upside if price does break higher and the bottom is in. Excuse me. And so, yeah, I'm just going to adjust this to the fraction of a penny, 302, 352 right there. And so from this, we can see that the 1618 extension is at a price of $3.82.9. So maybe we are to be breaking up to that level, maybe to get to right around $4 a share. But, I do think we could be bumping into some resistance around there and maybe pulling back. And so I did want to, I'm just going to make sure the axis fits automatically. I just wanted to see if there are any levels in the past that do stand out as corresponding with $3.83. So there was a little bit of consolidation over here, just above that level. And so maybe this price action that we see here could be acting as a level of resistance around there. Or, maybe we are to test, double top here, getting to around 450, or the high here right around 465. So if we do break above 383, maybe $4.50 or $4.65 could be a top. But yeah, we do see also, this top here, the high hit on September 15th of 2023 being $4.06, does kind of make sense that there could be a top formed right around $4 a share. But I do think price could go higher, but really just based on these retracements, if we are to move up to the 1618, that would be right around $3.80. So maybe that is a good target for BLNK. But now that I've done that, now that I've done those retracements and extensions with BLNK, I am now going to switch over to ChargePoint and basically do the exact same thing as we have seen: a move to the upside followed by a pullback, followed by another move to the upside, and then a pullback, but to higher lows. So this could be, a sign that a bottom is in or near before we make the next leg up, maybe to break above this purple uptrend, which you can see was support back here, was resistance here, and just recently, maybe we will be breaking through it soon. But let's take a look. Let's look at these Fibonacci extensions. But before I do get into those, I should note that ChargePoint closed on Friday, May 24th, at a price of $1.78, being up about 3.5% on the day and being flat in the after hours. So it'll be interesting to see where they open up on Tuesday morning and where they go over the course of the shortened week. But just taking a measurement here, or a Fibonacci retracement, I should say, from the low of $1.21, lined up right there, to the high that was hit on May 7th at a price of $1.86. Got that lined up just right there. Lock that into place. And we can see that from that move up, we did pull back and actually did put one close below the 50% retracement. That was at a price of $1.53.5. Actually having hit a low the following day on the 13th, when we actually put in a bullish engulfing candle. And so the low on the 13th was $1.52, whereas the day we closed below the the 50% retracement there, that closing price was at $1.53, just a fraction of a penny, half a penny below the 50% level, but the low on that day was $1.52. And yeah, I guess it was actually a low $1.52 for both of those days. It's just that we opened the following day at that low to put in a bullish engulfing candle, completely engulfing the candle, not all the trading from the previous day, but the entire candle from the previous trading day before gapping up. So I do think that's pretty cool. But anyways, that was a pullback to the 50% level. And from that, we can do another Fibonacci retracement coming from the top down to get that 1618 extension. And so doing that, coming down here, I'm just going to adjust the levels here because I did not get them exactly right. And so that's to 152. And so from that, we can now see that the 1618 was at a price of $2.07, whereas the high hit on the 14th was $2.06. So just like with BLNK, ChargePoint was a little bit below that 1618 extension, but still, that was a pretty good level to be thinking about maybe trimming or taking profits there. Also corresponding with, this purple uptrend right around $2 a share. So that was a pretty nice pullback level. And if we would have taken profits, let's say at $2 a share, or right at that purple uptrend, we would have avoided a pullback to, let's see, current price. That's about 12%, but to the lows, that's about 16, almost 17% to the downside. So it could have bought back shares following that pullback if we would have trimmed right around $2 a share. So anyways, I think that's pretty interesting. But now I'm just going to do the exact same thing, but going from the lows here to the top to get an idea of where that 1618 extension might be following this pullback that we've seen, if it does look like we have pulled back to a notable level. And I should note that, for this chart, I did leave up these orange lines because it does look like we may have found support at the 786 from this Fibonacci retracement that I did over here. And so maybe that's significant, maybe it's not. It does look like it had served as support over here, and it does look like it was resistance most recently, but now has, or potentially is, acting as support. So that is at a price of $1.71.4, currently trading above it with only wicks down to that level. So I do think we could be having a bottom here, just like with BLNK, and that we could be moving up to the next level higher. But so what is that next level higher, and does it look like we have found support? So to start, going to go from the high here, hit on the 7th at 186, and then coming down to that low of 152, which I am going to have to adjust. It is just a fraction of a penny off, but might make a little bit of a difference. And so from that, it does look like we have, actually that's not the one I wanted to do. I wanted to go from the bottom to the top. Excuse me there. I was like, we already retraced this to the $2.06, $2.07 region. But yeah, going from that low there up to the high of $2.06, gonna have to adjust the bottom, just take off that fraction of a penny. And we can see that we pulled back to the 618. And just for fun, I am going to also throw on the 65% level. And so that will put on the golden pocket, the range from 65% to 61.8%. That's referred to as the golden pocket. Commonly returned to, I don't know what the percentage likelihood of that being returned to, but that is exactly where price did come back to. And so that range, 65 to 618, that ranges from $1.70.9 to $1.72.6. So right around $1.70 or $1.71 to about $1.73. We did dip lower than both of those levels on the 23rd, so on Thursday, and that low was $1.68. And so that could very well be the bottom, finding support at that golden pocket, not getting any closes below $1.71. Let's see, the close on Thursday was $1.72. So yeah, I do think that level, this confluence of levels, the 65, the 618, and the 786 from this orange retracement, does seem like that's a pretty important level. Also, we did get a good amount of consolidation here following this top, and so that could be acting as support. It does seem like it is. And so now, if we are to assume that $1.72 was the bottom hit on Thursday and price will be going higher, we can take a retracement from the top here going down to the bottom there of, let's see, $1.72. Going to have to adjust this, but I'll just try to get it lined up just right initially. There we go. Actually, I'm looking at the closing price. I need to look at the lows. Like, that's weird. It's going up too high. It's $1.68. I'm just going to adjust it up here. $1.68.4. Going to remove that 0.4, and 206 was that top. And so from that, got that locked into place so it's not going to move around. We can see where that 1618 extension is, and that is at $2.29.5 to the 1618 extension. So I could actually see a move up to that level and then maybe a pullback to test not only this purple uptrend, but this prior high at 206. That could be acting as support. So I could definitely see, let's take a measurement from current price up to the 1618. That represents a move. I'm just going to move it over here so that's not in the way. Almost 30% move to the upside, and then we could be seeing a pullback to test $2.206 as support before maybe the next leg up. As you do notice, we are making this kind of stair-step pattern, which I believe is an Elliott wave. I'm not too familiar with them, and so this could be suggesting we will see another wave or another move to the upside. And so this, of these three stocks, this is the one that I am in. So I am excited about the possibility of getting to $2.29.5 and maybe pulling back to testing $2 as support. I think that would be great. And I am just going to make sure the axis is adjusted to see if this $2.30 level does correspond with other levels of significance. And it does look like that was a top over here. So we could most definitely be bumping into resistance right around there. Let's see the high that was hit on February 12th. Earlier this year, 2024, that was at a price of $2.37. So corresponding pretty nicely with this 1618 extension here. And yeah, and then also we do have these lows over here, kind of a bottom right around $2.40. So I could see it topping out right around $2.30 to $2.50, and then maybe a pullback to retest the purple uptrend as support. So that is what I feel is most likely with this, or at least that's what I am hoping for with ChargePoint. But now, finally, I am going to go over EVGO, ticker symbol EVGO, which did close on Friday, the 24th, at a price of $2.14, being up about 1.9, almost 2% on the day, being flat in the after hours. And so the last video that I put out on EVGO, I was suggesting that, it did look like there was some bearish divergence, putting in lower highs in the stock price, but not higher highs in the but putting in higher highs in the RSI. So that would actually be hidden bearish divergence. But I thought that we might see another leg up before the RSI really tops out. But it does seem like we did see that top out happen. We have pulled back. And just like ChargePoint, just like BLNK, we have seen moves to the upside, followed by pullback, followed by a move to the upside, followed by a pullback to a higher low in the price. And so I do think that this could be, like an Elliott wave type pattern. I need to look into that more, so don't take my word on that. But I do think that this is a similar pattern to what we're seeing in the other stocks, and that we can do a similar thing with retracements, extensions to get an idea of where price could be going on the next leg or wave up. And so from this bottom here that we saw hit on April 25th at a price of $1.65, just going to take an a measurement, or a retracement up to the high that was hit on May 7th. That was at a price of $2.08. I'm off by a fraction of a penny, as I usually am, but I'm just going to make sure that's right here. And now we can see that price actually pulled back all the way to the 786. You might have noticed that this pullback was a little more extreme than BLNK and then with ChargePoint. BLNK, I believe, pulled back to the, I believe the 382, whereas ChargePoint was the 50%, if I'm not mistaken. You can check back in the video. EVGO pulled back all the way to the 786 at a price of $1.74.2, hitting a low on May 8th of, $1.73, but not getting any closes below that 786, respecting that as support. And now from this pullback, we can take a retracement again to get that extension, going from the high here, 208, down to the low of, I said $1.73. So that's spot on, but the high is a little off. So I am going to adjust that. And so from that, it does look like we actually went higher than the 1618, but still that is higher than current price. So that would have still been a good level to trim. But I'm actually going to remove the golden pocket here so I can add the 2618 to this. We can get an idea of where that level was, and that does look like it's off the chart. Price didn't get that high. So, this was not a great predictor of the top relative to what we saw with BLNK and ChargePoint. Those, overestimated the move a little bit, but it looks like the 1618 here underestimated it, being at a price of $2.29.6, corresponding nicely with this green line that I have drawn here, corresponding with this low hit on March 25th. on February 23rd, and getting some consolidation here, getting above that, but not getting up to the 2618, which would be at a price of $2.64.6. We did get, actually, let's take a measurement. How much higher do we go than that 16188? Almost 9%. So that's a notable missing out on that upside move. But anyways, it did, pull back and stair step higher. And now I think it is good. I'm actually going to, let's see, I'm going to delete this initial one, but I'm going to leave this one to see if that 2618 could possibly correspond with the 1618 for this retracement, to see if that is, there's a confluence of levels there. That might be the next level for EVGO to top out at. But before I do that, I am first going to do the retracement from the low here of $1.72 up to the high of $2.50. Let's see if I can get that lined up just right. All right, that's good. Do have to adjust the bottom though. Or was that 73? Low 73, so I did not need to adjust that at all. Perfect. And I'm actually going to just make sure, 273, yeah, okay, that's right. Just making sure. And I'm going to actually color this previous one yellow so it stands out and we can distinguish it from the one I just did. And actually, interestingly, it does look like a 100% retracement, or, the top of this red candle here at 208 did act as support. But from this gray retracement that I've done, it does look like we have pulled back to nearly testing the 618 at $2.02.4, having hit a low on the 20th of $2.03, so just above that 618. Also, again, on the 21st low of $2.03. So, that was pretty close getting to that 618. But really, the levels that were hit, the 50% level at $2.11.5, or this prior high at $2.08, those are great levels to be dip buying at if we are to see a rally to the next level up. So let's just take a retracement here from the high at 250. I'm going to have to adjust this, coming down here to that low that I'd mentioned at $2.03. Lock that into place. $2.03 and then $2.50. So that is to the fraction of a penny. And we can see now where that 1618 extension has gone to. That's about 280 or 279, going past that 2618 level. And so I could see this one potentially, getting up to 279 or 280, maybe with that bumping into this orange downtrend, that acting as resistance. But maybe it does just stop out at 265, right around there. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, if I do adjust this axis, we can see where this orange downtrend comes from. The high hit on December 26th, as well as the high hit on March 6th. That's how you get that downtrend. And so since we have not seen any breaks above that level, I could see that being the next level where price gets rejected. And let's see, this would correspond with May 30th, the convergence or the intersection of that orange downtrend with the 1618. But if we do not get violent moves over the course of this coming week, and this does take maybe a week or two to play out, the intersection of the 2618, so this yellow line here, and that orange downtrend, that would be about a month from now. So that is June 20th or June 21st. That is actually Friday for monthly contracts to be expiring on June 21st. So, if price is taking off for EVGO, I could see it, being pretty bullish if price is above 265 at that point, maybe getting a breakout from this downtrend, maybe a retest around there, or maybe into July. So I do think that is looking pretty good. And yeah, so for all of these stocks, these three EV charging station companies, whether it's EVGO, whether it's ChargePoint, or whether it's BLNK, I do think that we will be seeing some upside moves in the next, let's say, 1 to 3 weeks. And I do think that they will be hitting or getting very close to hitting those 1618 extensions. So that is what I would be looking forward to. And I, for myself, am pretty excited to see where ChargePoint goes, hopefully getting above this purple uptrend, with that acting as support into the month of June and July. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.